Right, today we're going to be installing the James Hardie Cycon sheeting. I'm going to show you the product, how it's used and how to do the installation. So what you're going to need for this installation, tools wise, is a nail gun, 75mm gun nails, builder square comes in handy, a level for helping to mark some of the sheets where you've got to cut them, a little sledgehammer or light hammer, help knock the sheets into place because they are tongue and groove. I use a blower just to help blow some of the dust off after we do the cuts. It's not essential, you can use a broom, but it does come in quite handy. Power saw, standard power saw will cut through these sheets. It's made up of a different composite material, so it's not too bad on your saw blade. Glue gun, gluing the sheets down to the rafters. And obviously a bit of safety equipment. You must have a dust mask with your stuff because it does put off a lot of dust, glasses and some earmuffs as well too. So that's about all we need. I'll show you how to put it in place. One of the benefits of using this James Hardie Cycon sheeting is it's actually pretty lightweight compared to some of the other products that are on the market. We used to use a compressed sheeting which would take two guys just to lift one sheet. It was quite heavy. But this is a lot more manageable. Still got a bit of weight to it, but easy enough for one guy to manoeuvre around if need be. It's quite easy to cut with the saw. It's easy just to nail down into position, and it's used for all types of wet areas. So you've got the standard Cycon sheeting which can be used in bathrooms, or you've got this external product which has the blue edge around it. So when setting up these sheets, you want to put a string line in place, and what we've done is we've just made an even 700mm off both ends of the wall. That way the sheets are 600mm, and it just gives you a gauge when you put them in so that you can measure back to your sheet. So here we've got 100mm to the line, so what we do as we work along, we just make sure we've got 100mm all the way through, and that means we've either got to cut a bit off the sheet just to get it to fit in if the wall's a little bit out of place. One thing to remember when laying these sheets, this goes not just for the Cycon sheet flooring, but for any sheet flooring, is to stagger the joints. So you can see here we've got a joint there, we go up, another joint, so on and so on. So we usually start with a full sheet, continue up, come back, cut a sheet in half, start at the wall, and then continue on as well. So that's about it. Stagger the joints. Plenty of glue it up as you go, and then there's a process with nailing it as well too. When you nail the joints down, I'll show you this in a sec, you don't want to nail the very edge of the sheet down because it makes it hard to then get the next sheet down, and again that goes for the same for any sheet flooring. Just leave the last nail back a couple 100mm, where the next sheet slides in, then you can nail it off. Alright, we'll continue on. The ends of the sheet are square, so in theory if you measure up and get your distance right, it's just a matter of putting a level line across there and following that line. I just like to stick the level under there, back under the longer side, and let the small offcut just drop off. The trick with that is to make sure that the saw is just set a fraction over the depth of the board. So if the board's say 18mm, set the saw to about 20mm so it just cuts through. The trick with this is to stand on timber, make it solid against the board so it doesn't bounce, and just give it a tap in. Make sure it's nice and tied up this way. Give it a tap the other way at the end. One more tap back in. points are nice and even so we can nail it off. Lead it back a couple hundred millimetres for your first nail. Then finish off the last board at the same time. Punch all the way through. Run your foot over it to make sure they're flush. Yep, that was one there. So there you have it. Roof deck all done.